Good evening. Today we're going to go ahead, I'm going to show you how to change brakes on a car. You're going to need a jack stand, a breaker bar with a 21mm lug socket, a torque wrench, a 14mm socket with a wrench, a flashlight, and then a a brake pad tool, or a C-clamp if you don't have the brake pad tool. So let's start off by removing the wheel using the 21mm. Next, I'm going to start off by lifting up the car. I'm going to use this metal piece down here, and I'm going to support it with the jack stand. Lower the car on the jack stand and use the jack as a backup support. I'm going to continue removing off the lugs. Once I remove the wheel, show the back. We're going to go ahead and remove these guide pins, guide pins using the 14mm socket. You'll remove the guide pin here. Once you remove this one and the one on the bottom, you would remove this clamshell. Once you remove this clamshell, the next step would be to remove your brakes. Then you would decompress the brake pad piston using your tool. Once that's done, you will reinstall you would install the new brake pads, close the brake clamp, caliper clamp, and reinsert. But before you do that, you would lubricate the brake pad and the guide pins. Once that's done, you would put the wheel back on. The best thing to do is putting your foot or hand on the bottom. You would put one lug nut at a time in a star pattern. Once you hand tighten them, you would tighten the lug nuts as much as you can by hand. You will lift up the car so you can remove the jack stand. Break it down once the wheel touches. And then you would tighten them up, again using the star pattern as much as you can. You would bring the car down all the way. Once on the ground, you'll go ahead and use the torque wrench. So I'm going to be torquing these at 80 foot-pounds. And you just make sure they're nice and snug. Get it in a star pattern. And that's how you replace your brake pads.